I would, first of all, like to say Senator Gregg is not here because of a long-standing family obligation. I can tell you there's no place he'd rather be than with us here today. And I want to thank him, first of all, for partnering with me. We started this 3 years ago because we recognized it was going to take some special process to bring to the attention of the nation the seriousness of the debt threat looming over the country. Both of us are so proud of the two of you because you took up this responsibility. Neither of you had to answer this call. Alan, you're out there in Wyoming with your fantastic wife, Ann. And, you know, many of us have long thought that Ann is the really special one in that relationship. But Alan's not so bad either. And you have just done a superb and courageous job. Erskine, you didn't have to take on this obligation. You had heavy responsibilities already back home. But you are a patriot, and you recognize this is one of the key challenges facing the country. I truly believe, other than a terrorist threat to America, I believe this debt threat constitutes the greatest challenge to our country going forward of any. I just want to say about Senator Gregg, he is a very good man, somebody that fully understands the challenges that we confront. And he has been willing to put aside partisanship, to put aside any other consideration to try to get a result for the country. Chairman Spratt, you could not have a better chairman of the Budget Committee than Chairman Spratt. He is simply the best. Chairman Spratt, we all want to thank you for your service to the country. I'd ask others to join in recognizing his service. You know, over and over, John has demonstrated courage. I've seen it many, many times. And Senator Durbin, boy, you showed courage big time. And I will never forget your stepping up. And to Senator Coburn and Crapo, I watched your press conference yesterday, and I must say it gave me chills that you two had the courage to step forward and say, look, this isn't exactly what we do, but we are prepared to sign up to make a beginning, and an important beginning. And thank you for that. Now, we're not going to get 14 of 18. I must say, when we put together this plan and finally agreed on the test of 14 to 18, I really never thought there was much probability. My staff asked me, what chance do you put on it? I said 5 to 10%. So I never thought there was much prospect of getting 14 votes. But we're going to get 11. 11 of 18, by my math, is 60%. In fact, it's a little over 60%. In the United States Senate, when you're facing a filibuster even, 60% prevails. So I believe we've crossed an important hurdle here and laid out a plan that will be resurrected because it must be. And put me in the camp, there are things here I don't like at all. I don't like the Federal Employee Health Benefit Plan defined contribution approach. I don't like it. There are other things I don't like, but that's not the point. The point is what we have agreed to here is far more important than what we have not agreed to. We have agreed to $4 trillion of debt reduction over the next decade. $4 trillion. That does stabilize the debt, and over time it does bring the debt down to a level that every economist that came before us said is absolutely essential to achieve. A debt of less than 40% of GDP. And on Social Security, I think we've got it about right, because it does secure the solvency of Social Security for the next 75 years and does not use any of the proceeds to reduce the deficit. This is purely to strengthen and make secure Social Security for the long term. And I think we've done it in quite a balanced and fair way. Actually help those who are below 125% of poverty. Help those who get to age 82 by giving them a bump in their benefits. Secure, because of the excellent work of Senator Durbin, hardship waivers for those who, because of hard physical labor, simply must retire earlier. Thank you, Senator Durbin, for that very progressive and important contribution. I also want to say I watched the news media reports saying we've done away with the mortgage deduction. No, we've not. We've reformed it. We've moved it from $1 million mortgage down to $500,000 mortgage and put it on just primary homes, but those reports were inaccurate. I also saw reports that we were increasing the taxes by $1,700 on every American. No, that is absolutely inaccurate. What we have done is fundamentally reform the tax system and take out some of the deductions and exclusions and credits and tax expenditures so that we could lower rates. 90% of the additional revenue is used to lower rates to make America more competitive, including lowering the corporate rate, which is the second highest now in the world, even though our effective rate is not anywhere near that high. But we are doing something here to make America more competitive so we can create more jobs. Hallelujah for that. That is a leadership position that I think will be recognized in any plan that comes forward in the future. I could go on, but I want to end there and just say how proud I am of the work of this group. We've changed the conversation in the country. It's never going to be the same. Thank you, Andy Stern, for your plan. In many ways, I like it better than some of the other plans that have been put out. I think you've made a real contribution, and Congressman Schakowsky as well, a real contribution, because you had the courage to come forward with a plan that also gets us back on track, does it in a different way, and I admire that you had the courage to come forward with a plan. I admire people that have a courage to come forward with a plan. I don't agree with Congressman Ryan's, but I admire his courage as well. And let me just conclude by saying this is not the end of the story. This is not the end of the story. This book is going to be read again. These chapters are going to be reopened. And we have provided, I believe, a strong message to our colleagues and to the country of what has to be done. Thank you, Alan Simpson. Thank you, Erskine Bowles.
Thank you, Kent Conrad.
We wouldn't be here without you and Senator Gregg. I mean, that's the fact.